Hey YouTube, so this is my review of the FanXin Windmill cube. So, as you can see, it is a stickerless cube with the pink stickerless. The FanXin, they only have it in pink stickerless. I actually not a big fan of it, but it is kind of something interesting to have in my collection. For those of you who don't know, this is a 3x3 shape mod. So, it has the edges and corners, they're just different shapes. These centers are regular ones, but these ones are, yes, that's a center. It's more of a supercube center, so although it never moves spot, it changes orientation, so you have to worry about it across those axes. What this basically is a 3x3, which has been turned slightly, but still in cubic shape. So the location of where the actual edge is, as opposed to it being here, has been moved over, but not quite here like it is on a Fisher cube. I actually just got a Fisher cube, so I'll be doing a review of that too soon. The turning of this is nice. It doesn't have very much lube on it, and honestly, it could use a bit more. I haven't actually done the tensions. It is a little bit tight. As you can see, it's not really flexing too much, but honestly, it doesn't really need much. The corner cutting is actually really good. However, the reverse is... Actually, I'm surprised at the reverse. It's more than I'd expect. However, not as much as what's ideal. It's kind of similar across here. That's the thing about shape mods. I find that they don't have even corner cutting. Now, let me just do a checkerboard pattern so I could show you the shades. The checkerboard on this is really nice. So it's red. Instead of red, it's pink, so that's why you see it here. And it looks really cool. The yellow's a little bit darker than I like, but oh well, it's just a preference thing. The blue's also a bit lighter. I prefer a darker blue and a brighter yellow. It's kind of a dull yellow. So this is a really inexpensive shape mod. Kind of like how YJ has their versions. I actually decided to get this over the YJ version just because I wanted to try it out. Like I have the YJ Axis Cube and YJ Fisher Cube, which they aren't. I do have my YJ Axis Cube video on this channel. I will be playing the Fisher Cube on it. They are actually more different than I thought, which is interesting because I thought that they were based off the same mechanism. Now comparing this to the Fisher Cube, this, which will be up soon, this has a nice sandy feel. It's not overly sandy, it's a light sandy, but it's a little bit drier and a bit boxier. However, it feels a lot better than the Fisher Cube or the Axis Cube because it feels more solid. The other ones, they feel cheap, like they're dollar store cubes, because they're made out of the budget cubes. But even though that this one still has a budget cube price, it still doesn't feel like it. Sorry, but you could kind of hear the spring noise of that. So that's a... As you can see, I haven't really tensioned it. I'd probably loosen up the tensions a bit. But right now I'm just going to give you a scramble so you could see what it looks like. There's not a lot of catching with this puzzle. And it's actually not that difficult to solve either. It's not as hard as the Axis Cube is. It's pretty much just like the Fisher Cube, except it doesn't have the false equivalency. So it solves exactly like a 3x3, just with the Super Cube centers on the middle layer. So yeah, here's a scrambled version. It actually looks really nice scrambled. It looks better than the Fisher Cube. These look just like the ones on the Fisher Cube, but they're at more of a higher angle. Now, one thing that you actually have to consider when you're solving this is when you're putting in the second layer for F2L or however you do your second layer, you have to make sure that you're putting it in the right way. Because when, I'm just going to get a couple pieces in just to show you. Hold on one moment. There, so I have this in. So, actually that worked out perfectly. So I have the blue pieces in, and that's how you put it in properly. However, when you're going to put it in, you might accidentally try and do this. Because it does still pair up. However, when you actually have the pink face in properly, let me just get the actual piece in. you'll see that it doesn't actually make that side. So that's something that you have to consider when solving it. One thing I'm actually planning on doing is I'm actually going to take the cube apart, rotate the centers the opposite way, and then I'll swap these pieces around. So how I would actually solve it is this layer would be going the opposite direction. So you actually have, so it creates more of a challenge because although it will be blue across here, it will be kind of like, it'll be more like this. It's kind of hard to show it, but basically the center would be here, the edge would be here. So it'd be a swap. And so it would look a lot more like, hold on a second. Let me just, so it would be more like this as opposed to having it the proper way, which would be like that. You kind of have to use your imagination. Kind of didn't think this through, but where it would be the center, then the edge, this would be the edge, then the center. So it just makes it so you have to kind of think differently when you're solving it and misalign the pieces to do it properly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this cube. It's really nice. It's really inexpensive. I do recommend getting it. Like, shape mods aren't a big challenge, but they are really fun to solve and they look really cool. Plus they're great for showing off. So yeah, that's my review of this. I actually got really excited about doing this, and I'm actually coming out with 2 videos this weekend. I'll try to keep to 1 video per weekend from now on. I know that you guys kind of want to see as many as possible, but I am running out of puzzles. So, thank you everyone. Have a great day.